Today we are going to talk about the weight concept in Selenium. So there are majorly two weight mechanisms in Selenium. One is implicit weight and the second one is explicit weight. Okay, implicit and explicit. So let's say you have written the code to open the browser. Okay, so you have written the code to open the browser and you're trying to find out one element. Assume that you are trying to find out an element. So what if the element is not found? If the element is not found, you see no such element exception. Okay. So what are the different reasons that you see no such element exception? The first reason is, let's say you have opened the browser and you are trying to find out the element. What if the element is not loaded by that time? So if the element is not loaded by the time you are trying to find out the element, then it will throw no such element exception. So this command will not wait. It won't wait. The moment this command has been executed, it will look for the element. If the element is not loaded by that time, this particular command find element will immediately throw no such element exception. So how do we avoid this problem? So sometimes the page will take more time to load, and by the time page load and the element load, if you try to find the element, okay, and if elements are not loaded, not visible, not available by that time, the find element will throw no such element exception. So how do we control that? Yeah, to avoid these kind of problems, we use wait mechanism in Selenium. Okay, so I'll show you how to use implicit wait and then explicit wait one by one. So let's look at this example. So in this example, I'm opening the Chrome browser and then I'm opening a URL, mortgagecalculator.org, and then I'm trying to find out an element, that is home var, and then I'm entering some value. Okay, so so by the time if you are trying to find out this element, if the page is not loaded completely, then this particular statement could be failed. Okay, so you can see that some of the websites are not so fast. They will take time to load the entire page. They will take time to load all the elements. So before before the page loads and before elements loads, if you are trying to find the element, if that's not available by that time, unnecessarily it will throw no such element exception. The element will be coming definitely, but it might be taking some time to load. Okay, so we have to wait for some time. So in that case, we can use implicit wait, driver dot implicit wait. Okay, you can give the time, that is called maximum time, 30 seconds. So implicit wait is applicable for all the elements whenever you are trying to find the element. So whenever you are making this find element statement, the implicit wait is applicable. Okay, implicit wait is applied to the driver level. Implicit wait is applied to the driver level, to the browser level. So whenever you are trying to find the element, the implicit wait is applicable. Okay, so when I give implicit wait 30 seconds, it means that whenever you are trying to find an element, it will wait for the Selenium will wait for the maximum given time. So here I have given 30 seconds. The Selenium will wait for the element to be appear for 30 seconds. So the page loads, okay, but the element is not loaded. Selenium will wait for Selenium will check, is the element present? No. Okay. So after 500 milliseconds or after 1 second, again it will check for the element. Is the element present? No. Again it will check. Is the element present? No. Like that it will check for 30 seconds. For every 500 milliseconds or for every 1 second, there is a default polling time. Okay. So every 500 milliseconds, it will check whether the element is present in the web page or not. For 30 seconds, it will check because I have given 30 seconds. If the element is found within 5 seconds, it will find the element and then it will move on to the next command. If the element is not available, the maximum it will wait for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, it will throw timeout exception. Okay. Let's run the program one. Let's run the program. You can see it is entered 1000. Okay. So it has loaded the page and immediately it found the element and it has entered the 1000. For example, let me give home value underscore 123. This element is not available. This element is not available. I'm giving a dummy locator. As I have given the implicit wait as 30 seconds, I am testing the implicit wait. So it should wait for 30 seconds to find out this element. Okay, let's run this program. So it has loaded the page. Now it is trying to find out the element.
So within 30 seconds can find it, can perform it, or maximum or exactly in 30 seconds at second 30.
30 seconds is the maximum. It will check for the element to be available for maximum 30 seconds. Beyond that, it will immediately fail.
Thanks.
After 30 seconds, it should fail. I'll show you that. See. So it is trying to find out this element, home val underscore 123. It says no such element exception with the locator home value 123. So it has thrown the exception after waiting for 30 seconds. Okay. So let's say I give 5 seconds. So you have seen that it has waited for 30 seconds. That long it has taken and then it has failed. Now I am giving only 5 seconds. It will fail immediately after the 5 seconds. So let's say, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Right? So the maximum time I have given is 5 seconds. So if the element is not found within 5 seconds, the next 6th second it will throw the exception. Okay. So usually we give implicit wait as 30 seconds or maximum 60 seconds, not beyond that. Generally we give 30 or 60 seconds. Okay. And as I told, implicit wait is applicable at driver level, browser level, and whenever you are trying to find the element, the implicit wait is applicable. The next wait mechanism is explicit wait. Okay. So the explicit wait is applicable at element level. And an explicit wait is a code you define to wait for a certain condition to occur before proceeding further in the code. Okay. So a certain condition occurs, then only it will proceed. For example, you wait for the element to be present in the page, then proceed further. Or you wait for the element to be visible, element to be displayed, element to be clickable, alert to be present. So you wait for a condition, and once the condition satisfied, you proceed with the next line of code, next command. Until then, it will wait. Okay, you wait for the element to be clickable. So it will keep on waiting for the element to be clickable. The moment the element is available and the moment the element is clickable, then it will find the element and it will move on to the next statement. As I told, explicit wait is applicable at element level. If you ask the difference between implicit and explicit wait, the main difference is implicit wait is applicable at driver level. For every element it is applicable, whereas explicit wait, it is explicitly applicable for a particular element. Okay, so let me write one more statement here. Let's go to mortgage calculator. Let's find down payment. It has ID down payment. So here I'm entering 2000. So as I told, implicit wait by default applicable at driver level, and it is applicable for every element that you are trying to find out. Okay, it is applicable for the home value that you are trying to find out. It is applicable for the down payment that you are trying to find out. So whenever you are trying to find out the element, it is applicable. Okay, for this element and for this element, for any element that you are trying to find out, it is applicable, right? So whereas explicit wait is, as I told, it is applicable at particular element. Okay, let's assume that, so this element is available within 30 seconds. Okay, so what if this element taking more time, more than 60 seconds? Okay, so majority of the elements are taking only 30 seconds to appear, but only 1% or 2% of elements which are taking more than 30 seconds. So I'm explaining a scenario. Why do you need explicit wait? So what is the reason that we need explicit wait? Okay, so let's say in our automation code, we are trying to find out 10 elements. Okay, out of 10 elements, 8 elements are available within 30 seconds. Only 2 elements which takes more than 30 seconds. Okay, so in that case, instead of, let's say, only 2 elements which will take 60 seconds, for example. Okay, so 8 elements take 30 seconds and 2 elements takes 60 seconds. Okay, so just for these 2 elements, instead of making it as 60 seconds, instead of making the implicit wait as 60 seconds, okay, just for these 2 elements, we go with explicit wait. Okay, so that is the reason we have one more wait mechanism called explicit wait. Now I'll show you how to use that explicit wait. So if you want to use the explicit wait, so you can use this one. WebDriver wait, import that WebDriver wait until, what is that, EC? Expected condition. Okay, so this also you have to import. EC is nothing but expected conditions. I'll just copy from here. Okay, so WebDriver wait, and so this is the down payment, right? Okay, we're going to give the down payment, and assume that this down payment take more than 30 seconds. So you give 60 seconds. So WebDriver wait, driver 60 until presence of element located by ID down payment. Okay, so you don't need the below statement. Now let's run the program. So the element is already available now in the page, so it is not waited for 60 seconds. So it has immediately found the element and it has written the element. Okay, so once it returns the element, you can perform any action. Okay, this is also a kind of text field. You can enter some down payment as 500. Okay, so both are similar. Find element will find the element, and explicit wait also will find the element. Okay, the only difference is, as I told, the find element will find the element based on the condition implicit wait. The find element uses implicit wait, okay, to find the element. It will maximum wait for the given implicit wait, whereas explicit wait, it will not use the implicit wait time. Okay, it will use the explicit time. For this element you are giving 60 seconds. Okay, so how do we know that explicit is really working? Okay, so if you want to check that one, you can give down payment as 123. This particular ID doesn't exist. Okay, so it will easy is nothing but expected condition. So it will expecting presence of element located in the web page. It is expecting this element to be present. If the element presents, it will find out the element immediately. If the element is not available, it will keep poll. Okay, is the element available? For every second it will check for the element available or not. Like that, it will wait for the maximum time that is given, that is 60 seconds. Okay, so let's run this code and make sure that it wait for 60 seconds. So it has entered 1000. Now it has to enter down payment as 500. Okay, but we have given the wrong ID. It will wait for maximum 60 seconds. And then as the element is not available, it will throw the exception after 60 seconds. If the element is available within 60 seconds, it will find the element, it will return the element. It will not throw any exception.
So we still need to wait in order to get the exception.
Yeah, now you can see that it has waited for 60 seconds. You can see that it has waited for 60 seconds. As the element is not available even after 60 seconds, it has failed. Okay, it says the timeout exception. It has waited for 60 seconds. It has thrown timeout exception. So if I make the right ID, down payment is the right ID, right? So let me execute now. It should find the element immediately whenever the element is available, and it should enter. You can see it has entered 1000, and in the down payment, it has find the element and it has entered 500. The moment element is present, it will return the element.